You're listening to the Bring the Thunder podcast, a podcast by fans for fans.
Welcome in. Yes, you are, and I am super excited about this. I know we're missing Joe and Gabe for this, but I feel like this was a well-needed game for J-Dub, and Lou Dort was silencing a lot of the critics in this one. We got to see a Brandon Carlson start. I mean, it was just a dynamic game kind of all around with the amount of injuries, and these are usually the fun games. I know I covered it in the preview with Gabe, that games like this is where you can see some, outstanding performances, see something new, and something that's always really consistent is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He started out really hot in that first quarter, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, a block, and we were up only by 3 to start out early. He didn't really take that many free throws, I think, in that first quarter. And Kenrich was also someone that I want to highlight tonight. 9 points, 1 alley-oop, 2 steals, a charge taken in his first 9 minutes. I feel like this is the Kenrich that we've been missing, and he's had a little bit of time to come off that injury. And that's what I mean by when guys are hurt and injured, we can see other guys step up and really show off more of their skill sets. And because of how deep we are, we don't get to see that maybe on a nightly basis because everyone's kind of playing like 20 to 25 minutes. So you don't get to see that full, I guess, extension from each person for them putting in that full effort. And I feel like we got that from each and every guy that we had out there. Shai at the half had 17 points, really efficient from the field, only had 4 free throws, and just was amazing for us. All the guys were really good by halftime. What do you think, Jack?
Well, before I even get to say my thoughts on the game, thanks Indie Sports Fund for the gifted membership. Really appreciate it, and check out those memberships, guys. If you got gifted that, comment. Love to see who our new member is. And also before I can, oh wow, shout out Indy. Thanks, man. That's awesome. And before I could talk again, Bradley has beaten us to it as well. Shai with his 100th straight 20-point game, near 30-point triple-double as we go 14-0 at home and prepare for our revenge game against the Spurs. But yeah, like you said, classic Kenny hustle game tonight. Lou Dort is back shooting. I mean, he must have heard all those trade rumors on Twitter and all of that. But yeah, he's back. Great game from him. He had 13 points, 4 rebounds, 3 steals, 3 blocks, 55% from the field, 3 of 6 from 3. That's what we need from Lou Dort. That's great. And AJ Mitchell, 16 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, although he did leave halfway through the fourth quarter and go to the locker room. So hopefully we get an update on his injury.
Yeah, I thought this was fun for like the stats, but also Jada was getting some posters right before Christmas. I thought that was awesome to see him kind of getting some dunks, and also Shai was getting up there as well, catching some lobs. I saw. I think from both of them, showing off that athleticism moving forward is going to be pretty important. Just kind of showing off that off-season work that they've been doing. I know AJ going to the locker room wasn't what we wanted from him tonight, but 16 points, 9 rebounds from the guards worked out pretty well for us. And Carlson wasn't a slouch either. This was the, I believe, 22nd time SGA scored 30-plus points, and he's only played 28 games. That's pretty ridiculous. Him getting close to a triple-double. J-Dub getting, back to his efficient ways. I believe he shot 50% from the field, 24 points tonight. Really good 3-point shooting in BC's first start. 11 points, 3 of 6 from the 3-point line. Couldn't ask for more. And Kenrich Williams, plus 21, game high tonight. I feel like that's going to be my favorite player for tonight. Just seeing Kenny hustle back there. I feel like he brings a lot of energy that we've missed and that veteran leadership. I know we've had Crusoe all season with us, but Kenrich is another guy that's, one of the older guys on the roster, and him being added to this mix. I hope we see more of him being inserted by the coaching staff. Like, hopefully this doesn't go away, and hopefully his performances don't stop in the way he's, shooting and talking out there. I think it's super. Yeah. BC, K-Rich, both cooked. I loved it tonight. I mean, everyone that's a fan of like real Thunder hoops probably had the best night watching tonight, and especially against the Grizzlies. Yeah. We needed this bounce back game before we face off against the Spurs. And also Jeremy de Blasio in here. I loved how they started Carlson. It was interesting to watch. I fully agree.
Definitely was.
Yeah, it was the best thing ever.
And then this comment mentions that Chet didn't play. Wiggins was out, Caruso was out, Hartenstein was out, and we still won. I think they're just testament to our depth. Like, I mean, Brandon Carlson having 11 points is awesome. His first career start. Definitely shout out to him. But the point I wanted to make was Jalen Williams seems to be back. An efficient 24 points. Love to see it. Yeah, we haven't really seen that this season, to be honest. The three-point shooting's still not quite there, 1 for 6, but what are your thoughts on that, Setvir?
Yeah, his over-under was set to 20.5, and I took the over on him. He was one of the guys that I had kind of locked in for the night to go over on that. And also I had his points, rebounds, and assists on the over as well. But he's been pretty consistent the last like 3 or 4 games now with his shooting. It's starting to come in a little bit better. And I tell people all the time, when a guy's coming off injury, similar to Lou Dort, similar to J-Dub, just in general, like it takes a little bit of time for them to kind of catch up to speed. So we shouldn't be so, on them to perform right away. And also, I guess just I'm such an optimist, and everyone already knows this that have been watching for a long time. But Austin's comment is right. We're 26-3. We should not be complaining as fans whether one guy's injured or if we're missing unhealthy players or whatever may be the case. It was the same thing last year, and I don't think I had too many complaints last year with how things were going. And I'm not going to start this year, especially with the way that we've started out. There's not going to be trade rumor talk from me. If anything, I'm only going to talk about additions that we're going to have from the draft class, or maybe someone we could add around the edges or something. But as far as eliminating like one of our core pieces, the top 10 guys that we have, I like them all. I believe we can easily win a championship when healthy. So we shouldn't even entertain those talks as Thunder fans, because as long as we have SGA, we've got this in the bag. And we see that we're missing 2 centers in a game like this, and we easily dominate this team and most other teams in most other, games. Whether we're missing J-Dub or Chet or whomever, Shea has been the complete constant for us year over year. I mean, since he's gotten over, can't ask for a better leader.
And we saw some different looks from him tonight. Like he caught an alley-oop, catch and shoot corner 3. Like that's interesting to see. Yeah, I did not think he was going to get up for that alley-oop. I thought it'd be a catch, land, and then lay out.
Yep, nice little two-hander there.
Two-hand. Yeah, showing off his athleticism. Another point I wanted to make was Jock Landale shoots a lot of shots for being Jock Landale. I thought he pulled some pretty crazy mid-ranges, lots of threes early on. This Memphis team is a bit of a mess, to be honest. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's not something that I didn't expect from this team, but I will say him taking as many shots isn't something that I would have on my docket. And if it was up to me, like, I don't know, if I was the opposing team's coach, I'd be pretty happy. And I know I'm sure those are the types of looks we were mentioning in the pregame that we'd give up to these guys, like whether it's middies or 3-pointers. They haven't been the best shooting team, so we had to give up points to someone. And also, when it comes to really hard possessions, this is something that I do see from teams when the top guys aren't able to get their shots off because Lou Dort or Cason Wallace is on them. Other guys have to take shots, and I did see that in some possessions where he's like, I don't even know who to pass to, because if I do pass, it's going to be a turnover. So I'd rather at least put a shot up than us not even get a good possession. It turns into a steal, which is way easier points for us. It's a crazy strategy, but when you actually look at the analytics behind it, I'd probably rather take a shot in that instance as a basketball player than make turnovers happen, because that actually ends up worse. There's tons of analogies that I could go. I used to play soccer, so when you go on the baseline as a defender, you're not supposed to turn it back towards your goal, because 90% of the time that turns into an easy shot for the other team. Same thing with steals in the NBA. You get a steal off, most of the time that's going to be converted because of the level of athleticism and speed nowadays. especially when you have a guy like that's as dynamic and great downhill as SGA and J-Dub. Like, they have a high percentage of getting to the basket, especially in the open court. That's not what you want. So maybe not the worst thing from an outcome perspective, actually, Jack, that they probably thought about it. It's like, might as well take the shot. Like, we'll see that with guys like Draymond and others, where if there's not a pass, they'll just shoot it.
Yeah.
That just shows you how good our defense is.
Yeah. This becomes the 15th consecutive win for the Thunder against Memphis, including post-game. I think postseason. I think that's pretty impressive as well, to beat a team 15 times in a row.
Yeah.
But
this team, and also I believe Portland, we've beaten multiple times in a row since those early losses when we had not so good rosters of ourselves. But the guy I want to highlight on their end that kind of unloaded the clip tonight, Jalen Wells, 5 for 16. That's kind of what I want to see from one of the younger guys. He didn't have a good plus-minus game, but he did pretty well. Also want to shout out Olivier Maxence Prosper. He was a guy that I had a lock for tonight. That was kind of underrated. He got 17 minutes, so I thought that was just a random guy that most people wouldn't think about. And I know Gabe had mentioned Santi Aldama, who didn't actually hit the plus-minus, but the guy that did was Cam Spencer, and Cedric Coward did pretty decent as well. I mean, not the most recognizable names, but we both had Jaren Jackson Jr. as our overrated player for tonight. Jack, what do you think about his performance?
Yeah, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 for 8 from the field. And we didn't have Hartenstein or Chat is pretty concerning, especially when he's matched up with Brandon Carlson for most of the starter minutes. He's meant to be the face of the franchise, at least number 2 option. I don't know, man. I would not want to be in Memphis' seat right now, looking at Jaren Jackson Jr. get clamped by Brandon Carlson like that. But yeah, not good looks.
Yeah, most definitely not something that they'd want to see, especially when the guy that they thought was their third option was probably actually their best and most consistent offensive player that they traded away to Orlando, which I was really confused about because he's a great shot creator. Ja can't really shoot. Jaren Jackson Jr., his shot hasn't been that consistent. He just actually won Player of the Week when we were recording the video, but still, I'm not really moved by that with the empty stats. They're not really winning at the level that they need to, in my opinion. But still, he won that award. And it's crazy every time a player comes into our building, especially when we're playing at home, they put up crazy stinkers. 11 points. And I think I at least took the under on his rebounds, and he only got 3 rebounds. Like, how are you playing forward at his height and only getting 3 rebounds? And then he's getting out-rebounded by guards on his own team. And this has been a consistent thing for him, and that's why we mentioned he's so overrated. So if there's Grizzlies fans actually watching right now, please drop some comments on what you guys think about him and if you guys need to make some moves. I personally think trade away Ja and start building around some of the younger talent and maybe getting some picks or something, because I think you guys deserve a full rebuild. I don't think the project's working out too well.
Indy is right. It is now time for What the Hell is Jack Wearing? So we'll go into that now.
What the is Jack wearing?
All right, drop your guesses in the comments. Let's hear it, Xavier. What do you think I'm wearing? Whose jersey am I wearing today?
Oh, man. I don't think since this segment has started, I've gotten one right. Me and Unk are in the same spot. He may not be. Oh, he is in there. He did say Wallace. So he's early on this. I'm surprised the Wiggins shot wasn't in there. I'm going to look at.
We got a Wiggins shot from John Carter, AJ Mitchell from Indy, AJ from Lonnie Brooks.
I feel like K-Rich having a good night like this, but we're both huge. We're all huge Brandon Carlson fans, so it could be him. Oh, man, it's between K. Williams. Oh, man. I'm going to go with BC, Brandon Carlson, on this one. I just feel like if you don't choose him for this, I'd be surprised. but I wouldn't be surprised if he chose K-Rich, and I got a 50-50 wrong. But we got a ton of comments going.
Bengals go to K-Rich as well.
Yeah, I
All
saw
right,
that.
without, I will reveal it is a Jalen Williams jersey.
No,
Considering he's back to business.
what?
No one gets to ride tonight.
No
Sorry.
way. We're not going to see this good of a Lou Dort, K-Rich, and BC performance in like a while, bro. Come on, Jack. Come on.
Hey man, gotta keep you guessing. You never know.
Man. That's crazy. No one even. I don't even think anyone even thought of J-Dub. Obviously, he had a great night and everything. Very dynamic night. He even had an amazing dunk of the year candidate type of thing. But oh man, that's disheartening. So disheartening.
You get it sometime.
Yeah.
All right, back to the game. Thunder shoot 38.5% from three. What do you think about that?
Oh man, I mean, I'm gonna bring up the game charts that I usually used to bring up before. So if I'm looking at it, I mean, we won the game, not shooting too well. I don't have too many complaints. 38%. That's I would say pretty solid from the 3-point line. I mean, they shot a little bit better than we did. I didn't expect them to actually shoot as well as they did. I think you were mentioning at one point the game actually got pretty close within a couple points, and then I think you mentioned Shea and Brandon Carlson kind of hit back-to-back threes to kind of stretch that out for us. Talk a little bit about that moment.
Yeah, I mean, game got close. They went on a bit of a run, and we answered really well. I mean, Shea, I definitely think he traveled on that pivot off the backboard, kick to the corner. But yeah, Brandon Carlson, he's not afraid to shoot, and his confidence is really awesome. Probably one of the more confident players on our roster offensively, so that's great to see. We got a donation here. Shout out Joey de Blasio. The donation, Thunder up, sub to the premium memberships. Totally right. We post 2-3 times a week on the premium memberships, player breakdowns, advanced stuff. Really worth it, so go check that out. Yeah. Any other thoughts on the game, Sepia?
I would say we're tied for our Thunder best record right now for our 14th straight home win in our history. So the next time we play at home, we're going to be breaking that record. And that shows you what kind of record-breaking team we're on. We broke a lot of records, maybe for, each individual player last season. They hit some milestones, and we hit some team records as well last season. Obviously, we won a lot of games. But this season feels a little bit more, in a dominant fashion, in my opinion. And that's kind of, just showing with all these different individual team stats that we're, accumulating now, not just from like how many games we're winning in a row, whether it's how many assists we're getting in a game as a team, things like that are kind of starting to accumulate. And it shows that it's not just, hey, just our core showing up. It shows that more of our players have improved from just as a whole. And I think that's been really key for us. That's taken us kind of even more over the top. Like obviously J-Dub, Chet, Shea have put in the work and it shows, but it also shows, I don't think we mentioned enough how much of a leap other guys have taken on this roster. Obviously AJ, Kaysen, we mentioned those guys, but Lou Dort hasn't came into full form. We haven't seen J-Dub in full form yet. And there's other guys that could even step up. Isaiah Joe's been having a great shooting season. He's been our most pure shooter. Aaron Wiggins, I feel like, has taken a shooting leap this season with how consistent he's been. So it's like we're kind of hitting on all cylinders, starting to get there slowly once these injuries stop piling up on us. But I do believe during that All-Star break, when they get a little bit of rest, we all come back in healthy. They're going to be a little bit more locked in. We're going to see a lot less knick-knack injuries. That's, I think, more of a natural thing that happens in the NBA. A lot of guys get less load management rest naturally. You don't take as much time because you just don't have as much time before the playoffs to kind of prep, and you can't mess around with injuries and things like that. So I'm kind of excited for that time that's coming up post All-Star break when we're really locked in and we're going to have a harder stretch of games. So super excited about that.
Yeah. One final point from me tonight is AJ Mitchell has been leading the league in defensive rating per game. And I think one of the really, I mean, we broke this down in our members only video, but he's in the 88th percentile in the league of rim defense as a guard, which is awesome. And I saw it tonight after doing the video. We could like really focus on it and see, and it's really good. Like, I don't know what it is, but he's straight up, doesn't foul. Yeah. So shout out to him. Good to see that tonight. Anything else from you, Setville?
Yeah, I was gonna do my segment here real quick for us. A nice little start bench cut. If you want to get that rocking and rolling.
Welcome to Satvir's Quarter.
All right, guys, we got our start bench cut for tonight. I've been kind of reeling between a couple players on who should we include with this, but I feel like Jaren Jackson Jr. deserves it for tonight. I'm going to put Brandon Carlson in the mix, and we got to get another player in the mix here. I feel like Jalen Williams should be in the mix as well because they kind of all are versatile forwards rather than just centers. They're more traditional forwards, kind of all, three of them. Obviously, J-Dub's even more dynamic. He can play guard at times as well. But from a rebounding defense perspective, even offense, they're all mobile and versatile. And so I'd love to see what your ranking is. I know it could feel easy, but
so
it'd be nice to hear everyone's thoughts.
That's J-Dub, not J-Will.
Yeah, J-Dub.
Okay. I'm going to start J-Dub, and then I'm going to bench Jaren Jackson Jr. I mean, like you said, player of the month. I know we both think he's a bit overrated, but I don't think I can make an argument for Brandon Carlson being better than Jaren Jackson Jr. So I'm going to cut Jaren Jackson Jr. Yeah.
I was hoping that he could put up a little bit more of a fight just for fun. But I thought those two players were kind of the key guys. They don't really have much in terms of starting talent. That's that impressive anyways to mention. So a little bit more of a boring night in terms of start bench cut, but I'm sure for the Spurs segment, it's going to be way more exciting. I know exactly what I'm going to mention for that one. They have a lot more.
Indie Sports, start J-Dub, bench Triple J, cut BC, same as me. Leon Brooks, start J-Dub, bench BC, and cut Jaren Jackson Jr. That is a Thunder fan right there. Unk says J-Dub, Jackson, Carlson.
Nice.
And I want to get to this comment. Good on Dort for scoring more this game, but I think he should get less minutes solely because of his lack of scoring. I can see that, but when he's scoring like he is tonight, and I mean 6 stocks, 3 steals, 3 blocks, you can't ask for anything more. This was as much of what we need from Lou Dort as we need. So it's good to get back to that. And he had a rough start to the season, but if he plays like this, then no need to bench him at all. And Indie Sports Fund says if anyone doesn't start J-Dub, they should be banned. And I definitely agree with that. And I wanted to get to his earlier comment. Joe isn't on tonight, so Jack will say the line at the end of the show. I'll do that for you, Indy, which might be pretty soon. We're wrapping up. Unless you want to say anything, Xavier?
No, I feel like Shea and J-Dub play really well together, and we're starting to see them kind of get to that point where they kind of understand that they got to lead this team for this little stretch and give these guys a little bit of a rest. And when they're playing like this, we saw those J-Dub minutes early on without Chet, and I think that's when he really gets to, I guess, have an opportunity to kind of ramp up. And so I wouldn't mind giving Chet a couple extra more games just to see if J-Dub can kind of continue this. And then when we add Chet, because we already know Chet's going to be pretty consistent. So I'm kind of excited to see this J-Dub, I guess, game flourish for the next couple.
Unk says, see you all tomorrow. Thank you, Unk. Always in here in the chat. Thanks to everyone who's in the chat tonight. We love to see you. A couple new faces tonight. That's awesome. And I think that's us for tonight. So Thunder up, baby. Let's go.